Salute family. Tank Commander Zulu back at you once again in that Real Man Movement. Today, here at the Real Man Movement, we're going to be talking about costume knowledge. What is costume knowledge? And how does it impact a real man and a real woman in today's society? Let's talk about it here today with Tank Commander Zulu and the Real Man Movement. Fire in the hole, baby. Salute family, Tank Commander Zulu back at you once again and this Real Man Movement. Today we're talking about costume knowledge and how does it affect a real man and a real woman, in particularly in the climate that we're living in today. Well, costume knowledge. What is costume knowledge? That's a term that I use to pretty much describe irrelevant and ineffective methods of procedure, which people consider to be knowledge. And it's not. It's costume knowledge, meaning it has a falsehood to it. It looks the part. It sounds very good. It sounds even intelligent. You see, you have to watch people who spew this costume knowledge because they come with big long words and they come with a rhythmic tone to what they're saying to draw you in and make you believe that their costume knowledge is really true knowledge and is effective when it's really not effective. At best, it's temporary. It may make you feel good. You make enough noise around it about costume knowledge, and some people will tend to believe it to be real, true knowledge. See, costume knowledge is dangerous. Costume knowledge will make you miss. It will make you miss out on true and real understanding. And what I mean by that is that many people who produce costume knowledge, and it's all over social media, where you get people that talk as though they are very in depth in what they are talking about, a knowledgeable perspective, right? But when you do your research or you look into the person themselves, you'll see nothing but a lot of failure. You'll see nothing but a lot of empty words that mean nothing. But they would try to make you believe they're knowledgeable with this costume knowledge that means nothing. See, costume knowledge is good for just talking. And as a matter of fact, costume knowledge should be avoided at all costs. Because the fact is that if you don't know truly what you're talking about, you don't need to say nothing about that topic. You don't need to even talk on that subject until you get real knowledge and wisdom, right? And that's concerning anything. And that applies to anybody. Because, see, we live in a time today where people put themselves in positions. I mean, people will definitely put themselves in a position of authority based on nothingness. Haven't done nothing, haven't accomplished nothing, haven't achieved anything. Don't have a direction, don't have a goal, and cannot prove to you that the knowledge that they're trying to disseminate to you and whoever else will listen is even effective. No. It's regurgitated at best, something that they've heard and they assumed that, it sounds good. I'm going to repeat the same thing. Costume knowledge. No true understanding. No real results. No real educating. It's just foolishness. What it is like a trick. You see, a lot of this costume knowledge people will try to throw at you, even in politics. It sounds very good. they'll put it in a way sometimes that you can only understand the average person, because I understand it all, but they'll put it in a way that the average person can only understand a third of what they're saying. Honestly. Now, they've captivated a third of your attention. And now the other 2/3 of your attention is just agreeing with that 1/3 of the understanding that they're able to pass on to you. But the other 2/3 is just words that they're talking. Words that are ineffective. Words that they cannot show any real substance about. They can't do it. Costume knowledge. You see, we have to be careful about costume knowledge. Costume knowledge can start all types of chaos. And as I said earlier, it can rob someone who is really seeking true knowledge. Someone who's really seeking true wisdom. It can rob you of that opportunity of gaining that true wisdom. When true wisdom is placed before you, this is where costume knowledge makes its attempt to derail your understanding with foolishness. Costume knowledge. It means nothing. All you would have to do really is look into the life of those people who are giving you this knowledge, this so-called knowledge. It's not even knowledge, it's just a term I use. Costume knowledge. You ever seen somebody put on a costume, like, let's for Halloween, for Mardi Gras, to go to a ball or something of that nature? They put on a costume to look a certain way. And the costume may be, let's say, of a superhero, maybe of a villain. It may be of any, just pick any genre of society you want to use and pull a character from that in a costume, and you dress yourself up to look like it. It's happened in way back in the times of the synagogues and the temples. Today it even happens sometimes in churches, where a person has to come with a robe on and everything, what looks like a costume, and that's what it is. It's a costume to make you believe what they're saying holds some weight and has some true value, and that what they're saying is endowed with knowledge, when it's not. It's endowed with trickery, buffoonery. And if a third of it is even true, well, the other 2/3, they'll lose you in trying to explain their foolishness or try to convince you of their foolishness. Why is costume knowledge so dangerous, in particularly today? Why is it so dangerous? Because costume knowledge will literally get you killed. Costume knowledge will make you challenge a system under the understanding that you're doing something noble. Costume knowledge will make you actually take a stand on something that you don't even have a full understanding about. You may have a third of the understanding about it. But your source of information that's giving you this costume knowledge speaks on it as though there is no other alternative but to follow that particular guidance, which is faulty and flawed and full of nothing but confetti. Costume knowledge. You know, it's funny when you look at somebody in a costume, in particularly when you really know what they look like. People put on costumes all the time. And see, as real men and real women, we have to see through the costume. We have to see through costume knowledge. Okay, what you're telling me, is it going to make me a better man or a better woman? Or is it just going to excite me for a time? It's all dressed up and it looks appealing. It looks, it has a look to it. Almost an attractive type of look to catch your attention, of course. but it's a costume. It's not the real thing. You see, we need realness in this world today. Real men and real women. The knowledge that we should be seeking after should be real knowledge, coming from men and women who are real, not costume, not fake, not getting up on a social platform and making yourself into something that you're not even close to being. Costume knowledge. You know, even in the Bible, in the book of Acts chapter 13, around the 4th verse, and I'm a paraphrase it for you, right? See, this is a great example of costume knowledge. It's nothing new, y'all. The Bible even speaks of it. But in the book of Acts, you had the apostles gathering together, and after gathering together, they selected Barnabas and they selected Saul, 2 apostles, to go out and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ in a certain area. Well, when they get to the area, they run into a man named Bar Jesus. Now listen to me well. Not Jesus Christ, but his name is Bar Jesus, which also, he was also called Elymas, which means sorcerer. So his name was Bar Jesus. He was called Bar Jesus, and his name was Elymas, which means sorcerer. So they ran into a sorcerer. So here's 2 men of God, Apostle Saul and Barnabas. They run into a sorcerer going to do God's work and tell the truth. See, every time you try to tell the truth, expect a Bar Jesus to show up. Expect the Elymas to show up when you're trying to represent truth. But back to the story, and I'm paraphrasing it right out the Bible. So what Bar Jesus does, the proconsul at that time called for Barnabas and he called for Saul to hear this word about Jesus. He wanted to hear the proconsul, because that was his title, a proconsul. The proconsul wanted to hear directly from these people who have this interaction with Jesus. And they have this degree of truth with them. Now, the proconsul knew that he was a very intelligent man, so he called for him. But what did Bar Jesus do? See, he tried to get it in the way of the proconsul hearing the truth. See, remember, he was a sorcerer. So he was full of tricks and games and gimmicks. He understood how to persuade people and to keep them from knowing the truth. Well, what takes place is this. Saul sees exactly what's going on. That you have a sorcerer here who does not want the people to know the truth, because that sorcerer knows, Elymas or Bar Jesus knows, that once the proconsul hears the truth, all of that costume knowledge he's been spewing all throughout the region will be of ill effect. It will have no power any longer. So in order to prevent the stopping of the truth going forward, Paul looks him dead in his eye and calls him out and tells him exactly who he is representing, that he's representing the devil, that you're of the devil, that the one thing you do not want is the truth known and told. Why? Because then costume knowledge cannot exist. Costume knowledge cannot exist in the face of truth. That's reality, y'all. So even in the Bible, and I'm one of those people that believe the Bible has all of the answers to what we struggle with here today in America or anywhere else in the world. It holds the answers. So Elymas, or Bar Jesus, who was a sorcerer, who produced costume knowledge all throughout the region until God sent Saul and Barnabas to that region to speak truth, to get the people right. Because see, the costume knowledge will keep you confused. The costume knowledge will keep you separated. It won't make you come together and see how strong we really can be when we're on one accord. Any community that is lacking, any community that is being taken advantage of, any community that is not getting told the righteous truth can put all that behind them once they accept the fact that they have been victims of costume knowledge. And it's sad, y'all, because today so many people are running around with costume knowledge. And soon as the truth shows up, it's their job to prevent people who are educated, just like the proconsul in the story in the book of Acts. He was educated enough to be able to know once he heard the truth that it was the truth. But no, costume knowledge, Bar Jesus, Elymas, sorcerer, would not allow that to happen. Be careful, family, of the Bar Jesuses of the world today, of the Elymases of the world today, those people who will feed you lies as though it was truth, those people who at any cost will stop you from hearing the truth. They're just like Bar Jesus. They're just like sorcerers, because that's exactly what the word Elymas means, sorcerer. So today, family, we stand for truth. When we speak our truth, we should surely have some substance behind that truth to validate that it is truth. It should certainly bring resolution and not confusion. It should certainly enlighten us and not darken us. You see, we get darkened when we get this costume knowledge and go to arguing back and forth with one another, instead of listening to the truth and accepting the truth for what it is and making our adjustments from there. So now, in this environment here at the Real Man Movement, we stand against costume knowledge. 2 thumbs down on that costume knowledge. We are seeking and we are standing on real principles, real godly principles that impact all of society positively. And with that, family, I'm going to stop the tank. But remember to subscribe today. If you are not a subscriber, get on the tank. We're doing big things here at the Real Man Movement. And we're also supporting Real Woman Wisdom. And also JJB 2023. What that means, Judge Joe Brown is running for mayor of Memphis in 2023, baby. Make sure you get on board. Go to www.jjb2023.com and sign up. Get on the mailing list. Let's put realness in office collectively. Let's hear truth and not costume knowledge. All right, I'm stopping the tank, family. Salute. And remember, fear no man but God, baby. No man but God. Tank Commander Zulu, signing out.